a 13-year-old came to you and said they wanted a vibrator, what would be your answer? For me, after I pick myself off the floor, then I'll figure out. Well, let me share this little clip and then we're going to discuss. Wait, let me get it pulled up over here. This one right here, whew, this parenting thing is going to be challenging, I see. Because these kids coming up with all kind of stuff.
This over here is something serious.
Woo, it's making my nerve bad. I'm just not ready. And so I'm getting to it. I'm trying to get it up, y'all. Y'all give me a little second. I said, whew. Okay, let me get it up. Then let me share over here.
Give it to her.
Yeah.
A
vibrator. Can you hear, Cole?
A 13-year-old daughter asked for a vibrator.
Yeah, I can hear.
What does that look like? Or what are your thoughts around introducing?
Give it to her.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's birth control, and it's natural and it's normal. If I don't give it to you, you're gonna go find one of these nasty, dirty little boys and their dirty fingernails, and I just don't have time. Pleasure is peace.
Maybe not give her the super duper strong vibration. We don't need a broken by the age 18.
I've taught you guys there's no broken.
Okay. You can't become desensitized.
What are you guys' biggest takeaways, tips, or advice to mothers?
Read our book.
Listen to your own mother intuition. Find your own voice and follow that.
Even the bad choices are important. You have to make the bad choices in order to learn. And your kids have to see you make bad choices. They start dating and they're like, no person is perfect, but my mother was perfect. These little boys turn into men and vice versa and start judging their partners because their mothers portrayed this image of perfection that.
Okay, y'all. So I just I think first I'm gonna say it's gonna be different for parents of girls versus parents of boys, right? Would you agree, co-host?
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess a parent of a boy can also, come to you with some wild questions. So, you want to go first or what?
I just don't see that no girl need no vibrator at 13 years old. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So are you shutting the conversation down immediately or what?
For me, it's immediately. I don't think I don't think that that she should be wanting that this early. Like what does she know about all that? You know what I'm saying? She needs to be first at 13. I don't want to thinking about sex too much, really thinking about sex. You see what I'm saying? Right. But then to have a vibrator, that's a bit much at 13 years old. Now she may become overly sexual.
Yeah. Well, okay. So that's my first thoughts. Okay, first of all, I think I'm gonna pass out, right? Because I'm like, why are you even thinking about sex, let alone a vibrator at 13, right? So, but I'm thinking as our children grow up and we're in a more advanced society, right? They have access to things that we may not be privy to, although you may be monitoring what they're taking in, but it's a possibility that they have knowledge of things that you may not be privy to, and or the people who at school or whoever they're interacting with could expose them to something. So you got to take that in consideration. And then so I feel like in my mind today, it's an immediate no. But then when talking with my coworker, she was saying, well, think about it. Boys, they are in there masturbating when they're probably 12 or 13, young boys.
But I understand that, but they ain't nobody bringing no what they got, no pocket cat in there, whatever. No pocket. They ain't doing all that. This is enhancing. Her masturbating is one thing, but giving her a vibrator is another thing.
Right, yeah, I agree with that. But what I was gonna say is that, so although I feel like I'm gonna say immediately no, but I also feel like it need to be a conversation and need to go along is to why your mind on this, you know what I'm saying, to see where their mind is around sex, so that they can have a healthy relationship with sex. Because for a lot of people, they may say, well, their parent never had the sex talk with them. So everything that they may have learned about sex, they may learn from their partner or learn through exploring themselves later in life. And I just feel like these kids these days, like, you're gonna have a real solid conversation with them. It's like, baby, you don't need a vibrator. You know what I'm saying? Like, explain to them why you're saying no, because they exposed to so much, and let them know that it's levels to things. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely think that you should be able to have a conversation and tell them no.
You have to have a conversation if they're coming to you
in a situation of this, you have to say, I'm telling you no because of this reason. This, that, and the third. Instead of, because if they coming to you asking you about it, one, they trust you. They because most times they gonna try to, in a situation like this, you gonna find out they got it.
Right. You
understand what I'm saying? So they you still got a child who trusts you, so you don't want to break their trust.
Yes, exactly.
So I think it should be a conversation, and you should tell them why you staying where you staying, and be real with them. Yes, baby, at a certain this age, I think you will be ready for such and such like this, because it ain't no need to be lying to them at this point. They know what it is, and they know what they want it for.
That's right, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, of course you want to just say, no, of course, get out of my face. What are you saying? But I don't think that's gonna end it where you want it to end. I feel like they're gonna say, well, my mama won't give it to me. You always know they're friends with lenient parents that'll do anything. Or they got Amazon. Anything is accessible nowadays. So I feel like you can't just say no and close the door on the topic. I feel like, if anything, this is a conversation starter. If you haven't had the sex talk, now's the time to have the sex talk. See what they mind are. But just thinking about it as this birth control, and they don't have to deal with boys. But I don't know, y'all. Like, we gonna need some help raising these kids, because how are they even thinking about a vibrator that young? It's mind-boggling.
It is.
That's what you co-host. So do you think, because you are a father of a boy, that you don't think about it that deep?
No, it's not mind-boggling, because some of the stuff he tell me that these young ladies are saying to him and the conversation they having, it ain't shocking.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I say I wouldn't say immediately no and shut down the conversation, because like I was telling my coworker, looking at him in an interaction with his friends at his party, that let me know that my child at the age of 13 will probably even know what a vibrator is, not just asking me about it.
Right.
Right. So I can't just say no and, girl, get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? I got to prepare myself to not faint when these hard conversations come up, and then be ready to educate her and say, okay, baby, because it's a natural thing for your body,
Yeah,
to create these things. And think about how advanced these kids are. They're gonna be curious about sexual stuff because your body start doing. You going through puberty, So it's wild. I just think it's gonna be wild. So I'm gonna get some of these comments, y'all, because I'm flabbergasted that this is even have to be a topic. Yeah, I'm knocked out my feet, because he ain't phased. I think it's because he got a son. Because you gotta think about your daughter having oh my gosh, it's too much. Okay.
I'm telling you.
She said You have not seen nothing being a bus driver, what I hear. Okay, co-host, that's you too. What the bus drivers be saying. I mean, what the kids be saying on the bus.
That's what I'm telling you. So this really is not shocking at all to me, even though I know it should it's shocking to most people or whatever. It's not shocking, but just because it's shocking now does not mean that it's acceptable.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to be able to communicate why it isn't acceptable. You know, like I feel like my mom would usually just say, "You ain't miss nothing you never had. You can't miss nothing you ain't never had." Well, I don't feel like for us that may have worked, but for these kids, you gonna have to go into detail. You gonna have to, give them a little bit more. Don't you think?
Well, I mean, you definitely. It definitely got to be a conversation, because shutting kids down when they bring something to you is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, you can't just let it be. No, you just can't let it be. Okay. She says, you know what's sad is that it's coming from mothers. I don't like it and won't ever be okay with it, but it's becoming new normal, which is super weird. Yeah, I did think that was interesting that the moms would like give it to them. And that's another thing. Like, I feel like you got a spectrum of the moms is like, absolutely no. Then you got the moms that's just like, okay, well, we're going to pick out one of the low vibration ones. Like, I understand you trying to liberate your kids or whatever, but I also feel like we should never introduce things to them that they're not ready to understand and experience. What you was gonna say?
So what I'm saying is this: I would really want it. I want to hear somebody tell me what they think the benefit of it is.
Of letting them do it?
Of letting them do it. If she come at 13, and what do you think the benefit of this is? Because I don't think it's gonna stop them from wanting to have sex. I think personally it's gonna make them want to have sex more quicker.
Yeah.
What y'all think? What y'all think?
Yeah, I do. Is there anybody in the comments? And y'all, please share. We want more comments on it. Please share. Please make sure you pressing the thumb up. Do anybody feel like you will allow your child to do this? And don't be embarrassed. Like, this is an open conversation, because I'm really curious as to what these moms think. Okay. She said, right, shut up fast. Okay. She said, yes, immediately shut them down. Okay. She says, school sex class starts at 12 years old. Okay, well, maybe they learning about it in class then.
So I just want to know, how do she feel? Is she agreeing with it? And if she's agreeing with it, expound.
Yeah. Maybe she's saying if they're teaching in school, then maybe so. Okay, she says, I don't believe they need to be given one, but I do understand some children's body may be overly sexualized from either developmental situations or for other reasons, such as being exposed to sexual acts or even abuse. Now, that is something, too, to think about, that, your child could just be developmentally already going through puberty and is feeling these sexual feelings, and maybe somebody may say that's the alternative to them having sex. So what you think about that aspect, Coho?
Is it the alternative to them having sex? I think
but you don't feel like it's going to deter them from having sex.
It's going to make them want it more.
But if you teaching them how to pleasure themselves, and that's going to make them want it more?
Oh, that, to me, I think it is.
Okay. I don't know, y'all. I'm still on the floor. I'm just having this because I'm like, Okay, conversation is always good, but we are most definitely talking about a completely taboo topic. A vibrator, like what happened to the fingers? Who did the child see to ask for a vibrator? She's saying, yeah, then that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. You have to have a conversation. Your child is just not gonna come up to you and be like, Mom, I want to get a vibrator. Like, they have been exposed to it some way or another. And I feel like if a child is coming to a parent, like you said, co-host said they trust you, but also they don't feel like nothing wrong with it. Do you think?
Well, kids feel like ain't nothing wrong with a lot of stuff, so that's not gonna shock you. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I just think I already have said on this show many of times that you have to have the sex conversation a lot quicker now than you used to.
So, okay, so like she's saying, what happened to the finger? So, like my coworker said this as well. She said, well, maybe with it being a female, then maybe you should teach them how to masturbate. So, you know, like we had talked about Jada when she said her grandmother taught her how to masturbate at age 9. Yeah. Yes. So we thought that was strange. So, okay, fast forward to 13, the child asking for a vibrator. Do you feel like, do you co-hosts feel like that's an alternative, since most boys are probably, you know, like she was saying, most boys, they're probably masturbating around 12, 13. So what would be the difference if you teaching a girl child what's natural for her body, that she can masturbate and self-pleasure herself versus trying to go get a vibrator? Do y'all feel like that's the same thing?
To me, that's an extended level of masturbation.
So you saying don't? So you telling her that? So you would say don't do none of it. Like you're not ready for that. You got time. Whatever your conversation.
What I'm saying is, if we're gonna be honest, you just at an age you gonna end up masturbating.
Okay.
That's gonna naturally happen.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But to let them introduce a toy at an age at that age, that is uncharted territory. That's what I'm gonna say. It's gonna expand their mind to too much too soon.
Yes, I can agree with that. So what I'm asking you also, do you offer the lesser then, as so telling them teaching them how, or I don't even know how you teach them how to masturbate, but you know what I'm saying? Teach them how to masturbate or introduce masturbation versus a vibrator. Or you just say no altogether?
If the child is asking for a vibrator, they already masturbating.
Okay.
I mean, come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real about it.
I guess I don't know, I guess that makes sense what you're saying.
You not for something you're not already doing something.
Yeah, something for you to rather be sticking something up there, because I mean, you a man or whatever, but like for us growing up, right? And this show is going way off. So if this kind of off top of y'all might click off tonight. I guess we get a little heavy. But just from a personal experience, right? When you're not sexual acting and a woman have a period, so everybody grown on here. So you had to use tampon. So even that was something to us, like, oh my gosh, you inserting the tampon up there, right?
Right.
So you 13 thinking about a vibrator, nothing is, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is too advanced for my mind to digest at this moment, because, you know, our 13-year-old selves didn't even want to use a tampon. This 13-year-old talking about a vibrator, like, we done got from A to Z.
Yeah, but that's the new world now. That's the new world in which we live.
You keep telling me. Whew. Okay, let me get some more comments. Okay, education about their bodies are vitally important for children, especially those who are watching or participating in certain acts or desire to. Yes, but I feel like even if they're not, with this day and age, just educating them about their bodies, about pleasures or feelings or anything you can think of, I feel like you got to start educating these kids these days, because they're exposed to stuff way beyond, and their mind is way beyond. So even if they're not watching it or participating in it, you just gotta prepare them. That's what I say. But y'all saying the kids on the school bus talking about it already, so I guess
they talking about this and the third on that button now.
Okay, social media is a heifer. I ain't never wanted my house, right? I'm telling you, because I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, social media, but A lot of them are bad and see it at home. Yeah, and that's something too. Now you got to be particular what you putting around your kids. Okay, he says my 13-year-old not getting a damn vibrator, can't even buy your own tampon, but want a vibrator. You better go sit down somewhere. Yeah, I mean, but that's how we feel. But if you up against it, you just shut them down. Then in my mind, it's like, okay, I'm not ready for this conversation, but just because I say no don't mean they ain't gonna get it. Everybody that had stuff that their parents probably said no or didn't even know that they had,
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like you can't just say no and close the door. Okay, I don't know what she was saying. She agreed. She said, now growing up, the excuse for our bodies will be due to the milk. What is it now? Is it the new normal? That's another thing. They are very well developed. And so I definitely think it's the food, but I don't know.
It's the
It's
food.
just the day and time. I definitely think it's the food, don't you?
Yeah, what they put in the food, all the steroids and things.
Yeah. She says, no, I would not let my child be in that class, but all the other kids know about it. My boy is 14. He knows a lot more than I would expect him to know that much. He is special needs. His sex drive is very high. I was trying to keep him away, but did no good. School teachers at 12. Now, see, I disagree with. I feel like if they are of coming of age, and you don't want to have the conversation with them, or you don't know how, I don't feel like the class that they shouldn't be in the class. What do you think, co-host? Well, AJ, he's 12 now.
Right.
Would you allow him to be in the sex class if they offered it at his school?
Oh. At 12?
Yeah.
I think 12 was a bit early.
Okay, but then based off what y'all talking about, you
now, to be honest, what's going on now, I think 12 is 6th grade. I mean, it's not terrible. I'm gonna be honest, it's not terrible because they starting to get sexually. They mind is on sex.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would definitely want to know the curriculum of that class. I would want to know everything that they're covering. I want to know what dates they're covering what. And I would probably let my child be a part of it, depending on the mindset of my child. Because of course, 12-year-olds these days got the mind of a 17-year-old, but also we do know there are some 12-year-olds that got the mind of a 12-year-old, what a 12-year-old mind should be. So I think it definitely should be based on your child's mindset. But if you know your child is inquisitive about these things or even showing signs that they could be doing something, you don't know how you're going to have to talk to them, I'd rather them be educated. And then even if they try something, that's one thing. But other than just trying to shelter them, I think that's because we all have seen been to school with people that's in 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade pregnant. Yeah. So it's not like they don't know how to do it. So if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. So I feel like I'd rather them make an educated decision versus an impulsive decision.
So we said 12 at this day and age, 12 is not bad. Because normally what it would be like 8th grade or something.
What?
Because going into high school, you need to know what's going on.
Yeah, I would think normally probably high school, but middle school, I think middle school, depending on what all they teaching them now. Like I said, I want to know because some topics may be extreme. Vibrator could be one of the classes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I feel like if you do your due diligence as a parent and see what day they talking about certain things, if you don't want your child to talk about that, then say, well, Lil John ain't gonna be in class on the 12th because we don't want to cover that.
Yeah.
Do you think it got to be all or nothing?
You probably have to, because even if they miss it, they still gonna talk about it. They gonna get on the phone with their friends talking about what they missed that day or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just feel like we're not gonna be able to run from like absolutely. I don't think a 13-year-old should get a vibrator. I think that's absolutely no, right? In my mind today. But
Yeah,
I do feel like the conversation and the education is a must. Because if either you gonna educate them or their friends gonna do it.
right.
And I would rather be the stronger voice in my child head, even though kids ain't gonna always listen to their parent, because we didn't always listen to our parent. But at least you gonna be able to put that expert advice in there.
Yeah, and I'm just of the belief that you ain't gotta rush. You shouldn't rush your child into nothing, but you should also know your child and know when it's time to have that conversation, regardless of what the conversation is and what the topic is.
Yes, I agree
If
on
you
that.
are fully aware and fully present, not just in the house, but present, you know when it's time to start talking about certain topics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Seriously. And I don't think we just have.
It's like this. You know when your child is starting to get musty, you start talking about hygiene.
Right.
Well, you know when they thinking about having sexual thoughts. It's time to start talking about sexual topics.
Yeah, for real. So you said a good point. It's not rushing to have to talk. Oh, they 12 or they 13 or they 16. Let me have to talk to them. But you got to know you're a child. But I think a lot of people don't do a good job of educating their kids, and kids end up in situations that they may have avoided had the parent took the time to just educate them on certain topics or teach them why they should wait and not be interested in that. And they got time to experience these things. Because you got to be the voice of reason.
Don't lie to yourself. Don't try to fake the funk. Don't try to live up to somebody else's expectation. All these different things that we do that only hurts the kid in the long run. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay steady. Be present, and you will know when it's time to have a conversation. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I agree on that. I agree, but I don't know, y'all. This a big one for me. This one totally knocked me off my feet. Okay, she said we should discipline our children and teach them that we have to die to our flesh daily, period. Now, I agree with this too. Like, you got, and I'm glad that this point came in. I think that this is going to help your children learn self-discipline and, being able to sustain from certain things just because they're being presented around you because this is such an advanced world that we live in and the kids are exposed so much. They're going to have to stand firm more so now than ever on what they want to participate in or shouldn't participate in or should participate in. And I think this needs to be a big conversation in the household as well. What you think about that, Coho?
If you not having conversations, like you said, tell them what they should, won't, need to participate in, those type of things. You in for a long ride because these children gonna bust your heart wide open.
Oh Lord. Like she said, this is a new world. I mean, y'all,
gonna bust your heart open.
I don't know. I'm just gonna be in prayer because I ain't gonna be able to handle it. I'm just not gonna be able to handle it because it's too much. Why would a 13-year-old? What's gonna be next? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what to expect for next, but just you keep living. The more you live, the more you see. Just as they say, keep waking up every day.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's also, but seriously, on a serious note, the main takeaway I think is making sure you just establish a good relationship with your kids so that they can come and have these conversations with you, and you are able to steer them in the right direction. Because a lot of kids gonna never come to their parents for such topics, but you got to be able to be their voice of reason, like I said, and tell them the right thing. What's she saying? Wanting them to stay overnight. I don't know what she's saying. Maybe she's saying friends want them to stay overnight. Now, you know, my pastor, he talk about this all the time. Yes. And that's something to think about, that, you know, when they want to go stay overnight over people's house, is you need to go over there and see what kind of people they are. Because if you ain't never met them, you don't know what kind of people they are, and you sending your kids over there, you don't know what your kid may be exposed to.
And that's a good point. A lot of times, some of these people these days, but they'll just leave their kids. Your child has to go, they leave them. It be shocking to me, a lot of how people leave kids with anybody.
Yeah, you don't know these people. You don't know where they stay. You don't know what kind of morals they have going on in their household and different things like that. Which, you know, kind of growing up, you would say, ooh, your mom and them don't let y'all do nothing. But in today's time, even then, but
you know
in
why?
today's time, you need to make sure that you know what your kids doing at all times, who they going to spend the night over, you know? Because you can even meet the people, go over their house and see how everything is going on at their house and all different things like that. And still, something could happen that you know don't want to happen. So, but you at least need to try to get ahead of things.
Put an effort out. Go see. Make your child feel uncomfortable.
Okay, she's saying girls wanting boys to stay overnight.
That ain't happening.
That's absolutely a no-no.
That's absolutely a no-no.
Well, but you know that you do have parents out there that will let them stay, that will let this occur. But now if your child,
some parents will now, and you to me that's inviting the baby.
Right, and not only that, just even more stuff, because what type of girl or boy are you raising that whatever they trying to do, you know, if it's something unsexual, that they can't visit each other and go home? Why do they have to stay overnight? Like, this is again stuff that they're not ready for. You know, y'all want to get a house, you want to pay bills, you want somebody to come and spend the night with you. Like, what are you trying to do? That's what I'm saying about the kids being too advanced and not enough conversations being had. Like, that's not appropriate.
Yeah. But and there goes what a conversation has to come in, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. And then you have siblings, older siblings, that
they got older siblings
with the same sex. Yeah, they going to spend the night with their friend girl, but then they have older brothers or older, you know, whatever. They go and spend the night with their friend, boys or girls, whatever. But they have older siblings. Then you exposing your children to that kind of stuff. Like, you can never be too careful with your kids. Okay, that's saying I'm never letting my kids are exposed way too much. My 13-year-old still playing with her doll's hair.